Even before food and water, breathing is fundamental to sustain life. And what if you use breathing not just to survive, but to thrive? Welcome to the Enhance Your Health podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Michelle Green, and together we are going to go on a journey to creating more energy and vitality so that you can have the life of your dreams. You will learn how to enhance your health, physical and mental, through plant-based nutrition, lifestyle changes, creating new habits, fitness, health tips, and mindset, along with special guest episodes from experts around the world. Become the master of your health and life. Join us each week for tips and action steps so that you can unlock your potential. It's time to enhance your health. And now it is time for the quote of the week. This week's quote of the week is, "Breath is the finest gift of nature. Be grateful for this wonderful gift." Amit Ray. That is a wonderful quote about a wonderful topic that we're going to be talking about today. How breath is such a wonderful gift. We take it for granted. We don't even have to think about it. It just happens. Our body does it naturally. And it is a beautiful gift of nature. Breathing is essential. Breathing is how our body brings oxygen to all of our cells. As we breathe in oxygen, clean, fresh air, and we expel any waste materials, including carbon dioxide and other things. So what happens is when we breathe in and the oxygen fills our lungs, the oxygen attaches to the iron, and then the iron that's in the blood goes through all the arteries in your body, going to each and every one of your cells. So breathing is so important. It helps everything function. It's making everything function. And we don't even have to think about breathing. We just breathe. We don't even have to think about it. And depending on the state of your nervous system, whether it's in fight or flight or rest and digest mode, which we talked a little bit about last episode, it can change how you're breathing. If you're in a really high stress state, your breathing is going to be shallow and it's going to be short breaths. You might not be getting enough oxygen in your body. If you're really relaxed, you're going to be taking deeper breaths and getting more oxygen in your body. So the nervous system plays a role in how we're automatically breathing. However, it can actually work the other way around. You can change your breathing, which then in turn changes your nervous system and how your body is functioning, which we talked about last week when we talked about the vagus nerve. In the United States of America, this is very alarming, and when I read these stats, I was like, wow, this is crazy, and people need to know about this. But in the United States, the fourth leading cause of death is actually COPD. COPD stands for chronic obstructive pulmonary disorder, and it includes things like bronchitis or asthma or emphysema. In the United States, there are 16 million people with COPD, and they believe that there are actually more people that are just undiagnosed. And 10 to 20% of those people don't even smoke cigarettes. Okay, they've never smoked in their life. So this is affecting people who are smokers, definitely, but also people who aren't smokers. It's not just the things that we think of when we think of outside pollutants from cars and fumes, but it's also the things inside of our house. Some of these other irritants include dust and fumes, like paint fumes or gasoline. Even printers give off toxic chemicals that we breathe in, different cleaning products. There are so many things. If you can smell it, it's usually going into your bloodstream. You're breathing those fumes in. So I know this sounds depressing. Those are some depressing stats. But the good news is we're going to talk about ways to optimize and enhance your lungs, how to purify your air at home, how to breathe properly, because that's important. And I see a lot of people doing it the opposite way that they should, so that you can breathe fresh air, get the most out of every breath. And when you do, it's going to have an effect on your nervous system. It's going to have effect on your overall health and get oxygen, clean, pure air to every single cell of your body so that you can have more energy and vitality and feel as good as you should. Fun fact, in even the oldest healing traditions in the world, like Ayurveda and Chinese medicine, they look at breath as life force. For instance, in Ayurveda, prana is a word for the driving force in all life. And prana, they also use that word for breath. So breath and the driving force of all life in this healing philosophy is the same thing essentially. In Chinese medicine, which is also very old healing tradition, they look at qi. So qi is the life force within everything, and the lungs are the way in which external qi comes in and internal qi goes out. And they also look at breath as a very important driving force of life. Another fun fact about Chinese medicine is that when there is some type of imbalance within the lung meridian, they associate it with grief. There's an emotion with each of these meridians and each of these organs. Even these older healing traditions looked at it. It's a basic building block of life. Getting oxygen, we need it more than food. It's a really exciting topic because these are things that everybody needs and everyone can optimize within your environment and within your house and the way in which you breathe and retraining your body how to breathe. Now, remember I said when you're in a stressed state, you start to breathe more shallow. You're not getting enough oxygen in your body. You start to build up carbon dioxide. And this can actually have an effect on your alkaline acid balance. So when you're bringing in more carbon dioxide and not bringing in enough oxygen by shallow breathing or incorrect breathing, this can actually change your body to be more acidic. And when you are taking very deep breaths, this actually changes your body to be more alkaline. So the oxygen that you're bringing in, if you bring in an ample amount of oxygen, that will actually have a physiological effect on the acid alkaline pH balance, which is interesting. You hear a lot of people saying that they drink alkaline water, stay in an alkaline state, all of these things, but it's as simple as changing your breath as well. Changing your breath will change the pH balance of what's going on in your body, making the blood more acid or alkaline. So again, shallow breaths when you're stressed, when you're in fight or flight, if you're not breathing properly, those kinds of things will put your body in more an acidic state. And an acidic state will then make you more prone to disease or dis-ease within the body. And that is what we want to avoid. When your body is balanced and there's oxygen within it, your body's able to function the way it's supposed to. Your cells are getting what they need to function. Each and every one of your cells in every body system needs that oxygen to function. So we want to optimize your breath so you're getting so much oxygen with each breath, and eventually it'll become like second nature and you'll just breathe normally these deep breaths that we're about to show you. When you have those slow, controlled breaths and you're getting enough oxygen, that also has an effect on your nervous system, calming it down, bringing your body into more balanced, coherent state. And we talked about this last week with the vagus nerve, but it actually can improve the tone of your vagus nerve. So breathing is really important for all systems. When you're breathing properly, it also has an effect not just on the nervous system, but that nervous system then turns around and has an effect on lowering your heart rate, increasing your digestion, improving your organs working the way that they're supposed to, and your brain function. All of these things will then in turn be affected by this change in state of breath. When you change your breath, you literally change your life. You're changing every cell in your body. When you're breathing not properly, this can also be a cause of neck pain and upper shoulder pain and upper back pain, because what happens is we start to use these muscles to breathe, because a lot of times with our posture nowadays, we use these muscles way too much and they start to take over breathing. But we're going to explain what the proper muscles you should use. But before we go into how to breathe properly, take a moment right now and just notice how you're breathing. Maybe put one hand on your chest, one hand on your stomach, and take a breath in, breath out, breath in, breath out. Continue to breathe and notice what's moving. Where do you feel movement? Where do you feel the breath coming from? And what is happening in your body? What are you noticing? Pay attention to this. Did you notice that when you took a deep breath in, that your chest expanded? Did you notice when you took a deep breath, did your shoulders rise? Did you notice that when you take a deep breath, that your stomach expanded? So when you take a deep breath in, your lungs are like balloons. They're getting filled up with the air around you. And then the oxygen then transfers into your blood. As you take a deep breath in, there needs to be room for your lungs to expand, just like a balloon. And your main muscle for that should be your diaphragm. So when you take a deep breath in, your diaphragm then contracts and it actually goes down, making more room in your chest. When it goes down, it makes less room in your stomach, and your stomach should actually come out. Take a deep breath in, your stomach should come out. And then you let go. What's happening and what I see all the time, and it's okay if you do this, but now you have an opportunity to change it and to optimize it, is that instead of using the diaphragm as your primary muscle, you're using other muscles as your primary muscle. You're using your neck muscles, your upper shoulder muscles, your chest muscles. And so a deep breath would look like your shoulders rising up, your chest maybe coming out. And when you inhale, these movements happen because you're trying to make room for your lungs to get air in instead of using your diaphragm, which should be your primary muscle to use. Instead of using your diaphragm, contracting that and inhaling and having your stomach come out. So try that a couple times. So you're going to inhale, and as you inhale, and you might want to put a hand on your chest, a hand on your stomach, so you can feel how much each is moving. As you inhale, you're going to inhale and expand your stomach, and then exhale and let your stomach come back in. So 80% of any movement while you're breathing should be coming from your stomach. Only 20% should be coming from these secondary muscles because they should just be that, secondary. And when people are using these secondary muscles as primary muscles to breathe, oftentimes I see people having neck pain or shoulder pain, and these muscles are just extremely tight and not functioning well because they're being overworked. They're working around the clock to help you breathe, but really, they can take a break. You only need your diaphragm to breathe. Well, not only, but mainly your diaphragm. These don't have to work so hard. So try that. Try to, as you breathe in, expand your stomach, breathe out, bring your stomach back in. Nutrition. So let's talk a little bit about nutrition to help your lungs be the best they can be. Vitamin C. Vitamin C is a powerful antioxidant. There was a study done about vitamin C. It went over a 10-year period and it had over 2,000 participants, and they looked at people's diets and if they were taking any vitamin C supplements or how much vitamin C they were getting, and they looked at the strength of these people's lungs before and then 10 years later. And they found that people who ate more vitamin C actually had stronger lung capacity, and their lungs were able to exhale air at a much more powerful rate, which is one of the main ways that they test lung function. That study suggests that vitamin C may actually help to strengthen your lungs and make your lungs stronger. Vitamin C is a great food, great antioxidant, great supplement that you can take. You can find it in bell peppers, strawberries, oranges, a lot of different fruits. Start to incorporate these throughout the day. You can even take a supplement, vitamin C supplement as well. And it's also great for your immune system. Another thing that's important for your lungs is aerobic exercise. Aerobic exercise means oxygenated exercise, and it could be walking, it could be running, it could be jumping rope, getting some kind of exercise, because when you work out, you're not just working out your muscles, you're working out your cardiovascular system, your lungs, and these get stronger as well, just like your muscles. Go on walks, take a run, do something where you're moving your body, you're also able to get deep breaths, and that is going to improve lung function as well. For me, I try to take a walk every day. You could do 2-3 times a week, maybe 30-minute walks, something like that, just on a consistent basis where you're building those lungs, getting that lung strength up, and getting your body in an overall better place. So how do you clean your environment, especially within your home? Like I said before, your house can actually have many different air pollutants in it, coming from furniture or paper products, even wax paper, formaldehyde, pesticides, fumes, smoke, all of these things, and there's a lot more too. All of these things can have an effect creating pollutants in your home. And so how do you clean up these things? How do you clean the air in your house? So I have an air filter. I have a great air filter that gets rid of all the pollutants in my house. And when I was looking into this subject for this episode, it's funny because yes, that's great. I found an even better and more natural solution that I didn't realize before. And I'm really excited to share with you guys. It's so simple, yet so effective looking at the research that my mind was just blown. So plants are expert air cleaners, believe it or not. So I'm going to share 2 studies with you, one of which was done by NASA, and how plants clean up the air and clean up your environment in your own home. All of these things I just mentioned, these pesticides and fumes and formaldehyde, all of these things, plants can actually do the job. So let's talk about that. So in the 1980s, NASA actually put on this big study where they looked at how well plants clean the air. They had many different plants and they grouped these pollutants in 5 different categories. And they looked at all these plants at how well of a job they did cleaning up the environments with these pollutants. And the results were amazing. They found that these plants cleaned up the environment, cleaned up these air pollutants, some of them even doing all 5 of the pollutant categories that they came up with, some of them doing only a few. But the bottom line is that plants are expert air cleaners. They're the most natural and best way to clean your environment and get you fresh air. So simple, makes so much sense, and yet we don't think of them in that way. Plants are literally Earth's natural air filters. They, unlike us, take in carbon dioxide and then expel oxygen, which we need to breathe. Clean oxygen, clean air. Some of the plants include pothos, which is a really common house plant, peace lily, dwarf date palm, mother-in-law tongue, also known as a snake plant, areca palm, so many different plants with so many different benefits. And it just amazes me. I think it will amaze you too. And it's a way to purify the air inside your home and your environment. The second study really blew my mind. So this second study was done in India, and I highly recommend you looking at the TED Talk by Kamal Miato. And he talks about a study that was done in 2008 in Delhi, India. It was a building with 300 inhabitants, and they put over 1,200 plants in this building. And they studied what happened within the bodies of these people living in this building with 4 times the amount of plants as there were people. The results were amazing. So they found that if somebody was to go into that building and just spend 10 hours in there, they had a 42% chance of their blood oxygen levels going up by 1%. Which is huge. They also found that there was lower incidence of things like asthma, headaches, respiratory irritation, eye irritation, and much more. And there was even an increase in productivity. And they did this with just 3 plants: mother-in-law's tongue, areca palm, and what's called a money plant. So if you have a green thumb or you want to get a green thumb, these are some plants that you may want to put into your house. But if you don't have a green thumb, that's okay too. You can get an air filter. I have an air filter and I have plants in my house. So both is even better. But if you don't want plants in your house, an air filter is great too, and it gets these toxins out of your air. There's many different types, so look online, do your research, see which one that you want, see which one is most effective. If anyone is curious, I can post the name of the air filter I have. It's a really great thing to have in your house, something we don't think about a lot, but remember, breathing is even more important than food and water. So you want to make sure that you're getting clean air. We always are thinking about getting clean food, non-GMO, organic, or getting a water filter, making sure there's no fluoride or bad chemicals in it, but we never think about the air we breathe in. This week's challenge, the Enhance Your Health Challenge, is to spend 5 minutes a day. That's it. 5 minutes a day. You can do it upon waking or before going to sleep at night. More the better. You can do it many times during the day if you want. But it's 5 minutes a day, all at once or broken up, just breathing. Breathing like we talked about. Breathing from the stomach. Put one hand on your stomach, one hand on your chest, and feel where's your breath coming from. And start to retrain your body to take deep diaphragmatic breaths to get lots of oxygen to every single one of your cells. See how you feel after this too. Note how you're feeling before and then how you feel after you just spend 5 minutes breathing. Something so simple that has great effects on your health. Let me know how that goes for you. You can post it on social media, #EYHchallenge. I would love to see how it's going for you, any benefits you're finding, how you feel afterwards. Post it. If you know anyone that needs to hear this message, go ahead and share it with them so that they can get the benefits of fresh, quality air, quality breaths in their lives as well. Now, I have an exciting announcement. If you go to drmichellegreen.com, you can now book a one-on-one appointment with myself where you can learn how to enhance your health for your body, because everybody's body is very different. So tailoring a plan to help you get the most out of your health, that is what we're going to be doing, whether that be through lifestyle changes, supplements, laboratory results. All of these things are going to help you to know what's going on with your body and create a custom plan together so that you can have the best health that you deserve. You can also go online, drmichellegreen.com, grab your complimentary plant-based nutrition guide written out just for you, for vegans or non-vegans alike. You'll learn a lot more about your nutrition, how to get the proper nutrition, and it's a great guide, especially if you're starting to transition into a plant-based diet. And make sure to click that like button, click that subscribe button. If you're on Apple or Podbean or any of those podcast hosting sites, make sure to leave a review or follow me. I really appreciate it. More episodes coming out every Monday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, where we're going to be talking about how to enhance your health.